Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. Today is the 21st of October 2023. It's a Saturday and we are starting the live stream at exactly 8 o'clock for a change because I'm usually slightly late. But I have been like sitting here waiting for 8 o'clock for quite some time today. So I've been looking at your comments also. Uh, on Saturday, we take callers and I'll momentarily share a link in the chat which will be pinned to the top, and you'll be able to click on it and be able to join me on screen where we can discuss, debate, whatever. And yeah, so before I proceed, let me share the link so that people can join and pin it to the top. While that all is happening, let me just remind you that this channel is monetized and it's completely funded by you, the viewer. So if anyone wants to support this channel, the best way to do it is to click the join button below and become a member of the channel. And in addition to that, you can also support on Patreon, patreon.com/Vimoh. You can also support at my website, www.vimoh.in, and click the support button there. And you can send money through UPI by sending money to Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH at the rate UPI. So that all is how you can support the channel. I'm an independent creator. I do these live streams, I make shorts, videos, I write sometimes. And all of this is made possible by your support. So please don't hesitate if you want to support my work. This is the best way to do it. So yeah, with that, okay, first of all, thank you, Amit Matthew, for the $10. In your opinion, why did SC not grant marriage rights to LGBTQ plus people? I don't know. I mean, there are obviously always going to be people who are opposed to it, but I never had high hopes. We have seen this happen multiple times. I don't take the Supreme Court very seriously when it says sweet nothings, like, democracy is very important and all that. I'm only interested in their final judgment. And the final judgment in more than one case in the past has not been favorable towards LGBTQ litigants. So the right to marriage is a very important right, primarily because of property rights. And I think that the Supreme Court and this country really needs to move into the 21st century with as much speed as possible. It does not behove us to act like it does not behave like the thing that struck me was one person from the LGBTQ community saying that he feels like he, she, they, whoever they were, I don't remember, that they felt like a second class citizen. And that this is exactly what that imagine not allowing a significant percentage of your population to just marry the people they love. It's just bizarre to me. And in any case, I didn't have high hopes to begin with, so I have not been as crestfallen as some other people. But yeah, what are you going to do? Hopefully, things change. But thank you for the contribution, Amit. Everyone who's in the queue, please go to the private chat section and tell me what you want to talk about. Like, what is the topic you have come to discuss today? And I will choose on the basis of that. Sapien says, "Hey, I want to be the first caller." Sapien wants to be the first caller. I don't know if that is a topic, but let me just hold on. Neo Charvak would like to continue the Hindu atheism debate. Are yaar. Deeps is also here. Charvak Lokayat is here. Guys, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to prioritize people who disagree with me. So let me know what you want to talk about first. Let's take Sapien first because they did want to come first. Hi, Sapien, you're online.
हेलो।
हेलो।
आवाज सुनाई दे रही है?
हाँ।
सर, आज बात करना चाहता हूँ पैरानॉर्मल एक्टिविटी पे।
ओके।
हमने बहुत सारी मूवीज देखी हुई है जिसके डिस्क्लेमर में लिखा होता है कि बेस्ड ऑन ट्रू स्टोरीज एंड वो सब चीजें लिखी होती है, जिसमें पैरानॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज दिखाई होती है। और ऐसे लोग भी है जो पैरानॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज को एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं। और भूत पकड़ने वाले ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस भी बन रखे हैं, जैसे कि एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है IPS, इंडियन पैरानॉर्मल सोसाइटी।
अच्छा, मुझे लगा था इंडियन पुलिस सर्विस
आपको
हो गया क्योंकि वो भी भूत पकड़ने में एक्सपर्ट है।
तो ये सब जो लोग हैं ये मॉडर्न इक्विपमेंट्स की भी यूज करते हैं, जैसे कि EMF मीटर हो गया और वो टेम्परेचर वो नापने वाला वो थर्मामीटर हो गया।
मैं आपका पॉइंट समझ गया। फाइनल क्वेश्चन क्या है?
मेरा सवाल ये है कि एज एथिस्ट
हम्म
आप इन सब चीज़ों को क्या सच मानते हैं? और ऑब्वियसली ये इन सब चीज़ों को सच नहीं मानते होंगे, तो आप इन सब चीज़ों को कैसे डिबंक करेंगे?
मैं क्लेम्स के
क्योंकि
बेसिस पे डिबंक करता हूँ ना। अगर कोई कहता है कि भूत है, तो मुझे एविडेंस दिखाओ। पैरानॉर्मल एक्टिविटी, पैरानॉर्मल सो कॉल्ड इन्वेस्टिगेटर्स का प्रॉब्लम ये है कि वो जो एविडेंस दिखाते हैं, वो एविडेंस भी उन्हीं के इमेजिनेशन से निकला होता है। किसने कहा कि भूत होने से कोई एरिया ठंडा हो जाता है? किसने कहा कि भूत एक पर्टिकुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी के वाइब्रेशन का मतलब है कि वो भूत है या कुछ है?
लेकिन ऐसे लोग भी हैं जिन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस किया, ऐसे बहुत लाखों लोग भी हैं।
उसे एनेक्डोटल एविडेंस कहते हैं, उसे एविडेंस नहीं कहते। बहुत से लोगों ने बहुत कुछ एक्सपीरियंस किया है। कि हम सबके एक्सपीरियंस को मान लेंगे, या हम वेट करेंगे जब वो एक्सपीरियंस एविडेंस के रूप में बन के आएगा? अगर किसी ने भूत देखा है, तो वो भूत के फोटोज क्यों नहीं ले सकते? और अगर लोग फोटोज ले रहे हैं, तो वो फोटोज हर बार झूठ क्यों निकलते हैं? फोटो मैनिपुलेशन आसान है, लोग कर डालते हैं। इन इन
अच्छा।
एनी केस, मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि पैरानॉर्मल एक्टिविटी एक बहुत ही ब्रॉड वेग टर्म है। स्पेसिफिकली कोई व्यक्ति क्या साबित करना चाहता है? कि मरने के बाद आत्मा जिंदा रहती है? क्या वो क्लेम है, या ये क्लेम है कि सुपरनैचुरल बीइंग्स एग्जिस्ट करते हैं? आज तक किसी भी साइंटिफिक लेबोरेटरी में, किसी भी कंट्रोल टेस्ट के अंदर कोई भी किसी भूत या आत्मा के एग्जिस्टेंस को साबित नहीं कर पाया है। जब करेंगे तो मान लेंगे। अभी तक ये जो सब बता
हाँ,
रहे हो,
सही
ये
है।
एविडेंस के रूप में इतना काउंट नहीं करता। क्योंकि अगर इसको मानना शुरू कर देंगे, कल को कोई बोलेगा मैं वेयरवुल्फ हूँ, इसको मानो। कल को उसके बाद कोई बोलेगा मैं वैम्पायर हूँ, इसको मानो। मेरे पास एविडेंस है, ये देखो मैं खून पीता हूँ, ये देखो मैं आधी रात, मतलब मेरे शरीर पे कितने बाल हैं। ये एविडेंस के अंदर नहीं आता है।
लेकिन वो लोग वो मॉडर्न इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स भी तो यूज करते हैं एविडेंस एविडेंस करने के लिए, कि देखो वहां
कौन
पे
सा
टेम्परेचर
इंस्ट्रूमेंट?
डाउन
ऐसे
हो गया।
इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स को, ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स को टेस्ट किसने किया है? और इन लोगों के जो क्लेम्स है, उनको प्रॉपर साइंटिफिक लेबोरेटरी में डबल ब्लाइंड टेस्ट करके कैसे दिखाया गया है? ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हैं क्या? कहाँ बने? और इनको एक्चुअल इंस्ट्रूमेंट मानने
ईएमएफ
का कारण
मीटर।
क्या है? I know, I don't care. Like, what is? I have never seen a scientific investigation into these people. अगर ये लोग किसी जेम्स रैंडी फाउंडेशन फॉर एग्जांपल ने बोल रखा है कि वो एक बहुत बड़ा पैसे का इनाम रखे हैं किसी के लिए जो कि सुपरनैचुरल कुछ साबित कर दे, ये उसके पास जाके साबित कर दें और पैसे जीत लें।
सही है, सही है। आपका पॉइंट सही है, सही है, बिल्कुल।
और
एज
कुछ?
एथिस्ट तो एज एथिस्ट मैं तो चाहूंगा कि ये सब चीजें तो झूठी ही हो और एंटरटेनमेंट तक ही सीमित हो।
हम्म
मैं तो यही चाहूंगा, और कुछ नहीं।
हाँ, मैं भी वही चाहता हूँ। मतलब घोस्ट स्टोरीज देखने में
और
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। और बाय द वे, वो जो पहला वाला आपने कहा कि बेस्ड ऑन ट्रू स्टोरीज, वो कई बार बहुत ही लिबरली लिया जाता है। कोई जगह है जहाँ के बारे में कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि यहाँ पे भूत है, और वहाँ पे कुछ लोग जाते हैं और रात बिताते हैं, और फिर उनको लगता है कि कुछ है, वो उसी को ट्रू स्टोरी मान बैठते हैं। व्हेन समवन in a film someone says based on a true story, it does not mean that the actual events in the story are true. It sometimes means कि एक किंवदंती है जो फैली हुई है, हमने उसके बारे में जाके थोड़ा एक्सप्लोर किया और हमने इस कहानी को उसके बेसिस पे लिखा है। ऐसा भी होता है। सेपियंस।
वैसा भी होता है।
हाँ। और
हाँ, हाँ।
कुछ?
और एक छोटी सी बात करनी थी। अब ये जो टॉपिक्स है, जैसे लेफ्ट विंग, राइट विंग, ये जो पॉलिटिक्स है, रिलीजन, एथिज्म, कल्चर, इन सब
हम्म।
चीजों में मैं नया हूँ एक्सप्लोर करने में। तो
ओके।
मेरा एक तरीका है इन सब चीजों को एक्सप्लोर करने का और इन सब चीजों के बारे में जानने का। मैं
हम्म
देखो, मैं बिल्कुल गलत हो सकता हूँ, एकदम गलत हो
हम्म
सकता हूँ, मैं बिल्कुल मानता हूँ।
हम्म
आप बताइए मुझे कि क्या मैं गलत हूँ या मैं सही हूँ। तो मैं करता क्या हूँ, मैं ये करता हूँ कि मैं राइट विंग वालों के भी वीडियोस देखता हूँ और लेफ्ट विंग
हम्म
वालों के भी वीडियोस देखता हूँ,
हम्म
और फिर अपना दिमाग लगाता हूँ। मैं कंटेंट
हम्म
दोनों का कंज्यूम करता हूँ और फिर दिमाग अपना लगाता हूँ कि सच्चाई क्या है, क्या दोनों
हम्म
में सच्चाई है, क्या ये
हम्म
एक पार्ट ऑफ सच्चाई बता रहे हैं और वो लेफ्ट विंग वाले दूसरा बता रहे हैं। तो मैं अपना दिमाग लगाता हूँ। तो क्या ये तरीका सही है?
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही है। सही है।
ठीक है फिर, अच्छा है फिर।
सही है। ठीक है। चलो, बाय-बाय।
ठीक है, बाय।
ओह! सॉरी, बाय बोलने के बीच में काट दिया। सॉरी सेपियन। I took Sapien because you wanted to be the first caller. Now let us look at who else is there. Oh wait. Hmm. Wait. Hmm. Let's take uh, Avi Arora. They want to talk about astrology. Let's take Hello. uh, Avi Arora. They want to
Avi,
talk
I'm
about
hearing
astrology.
my voice.
Hi.
Hello.
Wait.
What's up?
I have to open YouTube or because I can't.
No. Can you hear me?
But can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Because I can't
yes.
hear you.
I can hear you. That may be because your device is plugged into an audio device already and you don't have it on your ears. Okay, I'm going to take Avi off and come back. I'll come back to you. And in the meantime, let's take Neo Charvak. Neo Charvak, you're online.
Hi, Vimoh. So I would
Hello.
like to agree with the first caller on one thing. So when he
Hmm.
ended with
Agree with the
his
first
method
caller.
saying that
You mean Sapien?
I think so. He said that
Okay.
he consumes all content and so on, right?
Yeah.
I think that is
Yeah.
a great way of coming to a reasonable and balanced viewpoint on
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I think everybody should do that. And
Okay.
yeah, so
What's your point?
yeah, so yeah, so I'll enter into that again. So,
Hmm.
Vimoh, I watched our previous discussion several times again. I have realized that both of us have made several fundamental errors, and so have you, which I failed to actually counter. So, first of all, I'll begin with my clarification on what my actual theological or otherwise philosophical stance is, right? So,
Okay.
although I have brought up Advaita and Nyaya, Sankhya, Mimamsa, all of those things,
Hmm.
I am actually, I am an atheist, right? I don't believe in the metaphysical claims laid out in any of the religious texts. I believe in the supremacy of logic and the scientific methodology and all of that. I don't believe in any deities. I don't believe in the Vedas. I don't believe in
Okay.
any of those things.
Hmm.
So that is one thing. And the reason for why I brought up Advaita and all of those things is because I wanted to lay out multiple ways in which one can be a Hindu atheist, right? And
Hmm.
I have I've looked up at the books that you have recommended, right, in the link under your bio. And one of them is Introduction to Indian Philosophy by Satish
Hmm.
Chandra Chatterjee and Dhirendra Mohan Datta.
Yeah.
Between our previous call and now, I have finished the entire book, and
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, Vimo, it has literally been mentioned here that Advaita is one of the most mainstream schools of Hinduism. It has literally been mentioned, and also one more thing
Neo
is
Charvak, I pointed out to you why I thought Advaita was not the most mainstream one. Do you remember what I said?
you said if you ask an average Hindu, they will say they believe in God, correct?
Yeah. And then you told
Yeah.
me
So I just
that belief in God as a category of worship falls inside atheism, which is what I found weird, which is what I pointed
yeah.
out.
Just 1 minute, Vimo. Just give me 2 minutes. So I'll just lay out the different darshanas in a very brief way. So when last time I said that Astika and Nastika
Neo
corresponds
Charvak,
to belief in the
what are
Vedas.
we talking about? What are we talking about today? First say that and then proceed. Because otherwise I don't know where you're going and why you're going there.
Yeah,
What is the
it's a
goal of the
continuation of
what is
previous
the argument you're here to present?
to establish the philosophical relevance of Hindu atheism.
Okay, go on.
All right. So last time when I mean I should have laid out that Nastikas were people who didn't believe in the Vedas, Astikas were people who believed in the Vedas, and then
You
I
did. You
I
did.
couldn't complete it.
You did. You did
No,
point
and
this
then you
out, and I
asked.
do remember.
No, but you asked me a question that would suggest that you didn't exactly because you asked me, do the Vedas suggest that there is an existence of God or not? Because that would like you asking that question would suggest that you ignore the Nastika part of it, right?
No, my asking that question meant that if Nastika means you do not believe in the Vedas, and Astika means you
Yeah,
do believe in the Vedas, then
right.
the Vedas contain atheistic as well as theistic thoughts, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So where do you
Yeah,
stand
sure.
after you say that you do not believe in the Vedas? Because you have accepted and rejected both.
I personally reject the Vedas. I'm saying it is possible for somebody to still accept them and still be an atheist. I'll explain. Okay, one more thing. I'll just explain how Vedanta is
If
the
a
mainstream
person
philosophy.
accepts the Vedas, are they a Nastic?
No, they are not a Gnostic in the old classical Sanskrit definition of Gnostic, but they are a Gnostic in the
Okay.
modern Hindi and other contemporary languages definition of Gnostic.
Okay. So would you be okay if we just avoided the confusion by saying that if someone is rejecting the Vedas, they're an atheist?
Could you repeat that?
If you reject the Vedas, you are an atheist?
It depends, right? You could be a Nastika in the classical version and still believe in God because there are some
See,
Buddhist
that
sects
is the
and some Jain
confusion
sects
I'm
which
trying to
believe.
avoid, because if you use
Yeah,
words and phrases that were relevant to the conversation thousands of years ago, you're missing out on a huge part of the discourse. The word we use today
oh
for
yeah.
all of
I,
that
I just
is atheist. Just use
right.
atheist. Why do you need to start
I,
calling
I just
yourself
need to.
Sanskrit names?
I'll just clarify one thing. Like you asked me why Advaita is atheistic or how could one could be an atheist under Advaita and so on, right?
Hmm.
I mean, Advaita, one of the basic principles of Advaita is that everything is Maya, including the universe, including everything, including all people, including the Devatas, right?
Define Maya.
Advaita literally claims
Define Maya.
illusion, not real.
That doesn't really tell me much, because you can literally say that about the universe in multiple contexts. Is there any physical claim about the universe being made? Are you saying that matter does not exist?
I am not saying that, but an Advaitin would say
Advaita says that matter does not exist.
that. Okay, so the Vedas do. Okay, so it's a little more
Why can't
complicated
you
than that,
just
right?
why can't you just answer my questions? Every time I ask you something, you start on something else. You said that
Because Hinduism
Advaita.
is very diverse and nuanced. Because Hinduism is
What?
very diverse and nuanced. Because Hinduism is very
I
diverse.
get that, but I'm trying to reduce. I'm trying to narrow down so that we can have an actual
All right.
conversation. Hinduism can
Okay, fine.
remain
I'll
nuanced.
answer that
Nobody is
question.
questioning the nuanced nature of Hinduism. I'm saying if you
Both the
say that,
Vedas and the Upanishads make two claims. Both the Vedas and the Upanishads make two claims: the existence of the five Panchabhutas, which is essentially matter, and they also make the claim that there is something beyond the five Panchabhutas, and the five Panchabhutas
then what
aren't
is this?
really.
What is the
They're
conclusion?
not
If they
real.
say that matter exists and they say that matter does not exist, then what is the conclusion?
Right. Actually, Vimoh, that is also the modern scientific understanding of matter, right? Like if you narrow down, everything is basically. I mean, string theory isn't conclusive, but most scientists do agree that everything is quantum fluctuations at the end of the day, right? If you if
Yeah,
you if you
but
narrow down,
none of them say that matter does not exist, right?
it depends on your frame of reference, right? It depends on your frame of reference.
Neo Charvak, we are not going to be able to have a conversation if every word you say or I say leads to a it depends on how you define it. I'm trying to
All
narrow
right,
down the
so
scope so we can actually talk about something instead of just floating
fair,
around in
fair.
definitions.
No, but my point is exactly to do that. My point is exactly to bring about a diverse range of ways in which somebody could be a Hindu atheist without any discrepancy in terms of philosophical. Like, that's the entire point, right? I'm trying to lay out
But
multiple
everything
ways
you have said
in
so
which
far
one
is
could
a
be a Hindu.
discrepancy.
I
Everything you have
mean,
said
yeah,
so
that
far is
is
a
that is the point of
discrepancy. Every
philosophy.
time I point out that it's a
Philosophy never reaches.
discrepancy, you say it's very nuanced. What am I going to do with this?
All right, fine. So, I mean, I gave you multiple ways. One can believe in the Vedas, not believe in God. One can not believe in the Vedas and still believe in God. There are many ways in which one can be a Hindu atheist.
And
Fine,
that's a
let's move past that.
discrepancy. And that's a discrepancy.
All right. So what is that?
Unless
What is
unless
that?
unless you attach yourself strongly to one point, we are not going
All
to be
right.
able to have a conversation, because everything you have said is ये भी हो सकता है, वो भी
That
हो
is
सकता है, that is also possible, this is also possible. ऐसे में बातचीत कैसे करेंगे?
all right. I'll stick to my stance then. I personally
Yeah,
believe in the
do that.
ontological existence of matter of the
State
universe.
your stance as clearly as possible, and then we can start talking. Go on.
All right. I believe in the ontological existence of matter and reality. I do not believe in Shankaracharya's view of the world. I believe in
Okay.
metaphysics, which is extremely materialistic. I do not believe there's anything beyond that. So I am a Charvaka. Okay. So one of the most liked comment under the clip of our previous discussion was Hindu atheism is an oxymoron, right? And even you seem to have liked that. I'll
I
just
I
and
did I like it? I don't know. I think Charvak, what's his name? I think Charvak Lokayat also said that in today's chat. Let us not focus on what
right,
someone else said about your position. Just focus on your
right, right, right.
position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and during the discussion, you also said that I was exercising cultural appropriation by being a Charvak, right?
Hmm.
Do you still stick to that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the thing is, it is not tied to an
May
ethnicity.
I
It is
point
not
may I
gender-based
point out
practice.
why? May I point out why? For those who
Sure,
have not seen our previous conversation, you say that you're a
sure, sure.
Charvak, but your worldview is much more than the Charvak worldview, because to the best of our knowledge, the Charvak did not accept any other praman than direct perception. Is your worldview
I
limited to
agree.
direct perception?
No, no, I do
Then
believe in
you're not a
inference
Charvak.
and also to some degree. No, that's the thing.
Sorry?
So there is always additions and improvements to previous philosophies. See, are you a Marxist, Vimoh?
Sorry?
Are you a Marxist?
I'm a Marxist? No.
So you're a socialist or something of that sort, right?
Socialist? Yeah, yeah.
Where does that come from?
What does that have to do with our conversation about atheism?
I'm just trying to say that basically there is every philosophy that one could possibly have right now has an origin, and then there are improvements, and then there are multiple improvements successively, which leads to a more contemporary version of it, or it might die out. There are multiple ways in which ideas can
Yeah,
survive,
but
right?
we are still talking, right? We're using language and words have meanings. The word charvak meant a very specific kind of philosophy back in the day. You don't have that philosophy, and yet you're using that word to describe yourself. That is what I mean by
I
appropriating.
I I do because it's the closest to my beliefs rather than any
No,
other philosophy that I know.
the closest one is just plain old atheism. You're a child of the 21st century. You live in today's world. All your education has come to you,
Oh,
at least partially, from Western sources. Your worldview, which is materialistic, as you yourself said, is based on a whole host of readings that you have done from Western authors, I'm assuming.
yeah, I'll just make one
Yeah,
small
then is
correction
it
when you
not
said
safe to say, is it not safe to say
just
that
one
your
correction, Vimoh.
worldview,
It's not
is it not safe to,
right.
please let me finish. Is it not safe to
Sure.
say then that your worldview has more in common with present day atheists than it did with materialists in India who lived 3,000 years ago or so or something, uh, whose worldview did not include inference and Anuman and all those other things?
I'm saying it does not matter. So I'm saying it does not matter
It
because
matters.
obviously,
Obviously, it matters. If I'm going to talk to you about a tomato and you are talking about, listen, can I give you an example? It'll take a little bit of time.
sure, sure, sure.
The Odia word for
Yeah, I would.
tomato, the Odia word for tomato is bilati baigona, which is
Uh-huh.
translated as vilayati bangan. That's because the
Oh,
Portuguese brought tomatoes to Odisha a few centuries ago,
yeah.
and back then we used to just
And they're
call
in the
it
same
bangan.
family. They're in the same
Sorry,
biological family. I forgot.
I'm talking
They're in
about
the same
words.
biological
Let
family.
me finish, then you
Yeah,
will
yeah.
understand my point. Don't jump the gun.
Sure, sure, sure. Right, right.
If you and I were having a conversation today and I said bangan khane ka man kar raha hai, and you think that I'm talking about a thing that was called a bangan 500 years ago, then we are not talking about the same thing, right? If I am using the word charwak, I want it to be used to denote what charwak actually were. if you just pick up the word Charvak and start using it, despite not having that much in common with them, simply because you have some kind of cultural loyalty to India and you want to use a label from ancient India, then that's not an actual conversation we are having. We are talking about two different things, and you are, for some reason, unwilling to help clear out the confusion. No, I will keep using the word from 3000 years ago because I like it.
I mean, it's precisely to clear up that confusion that I call myself a neo-Charvak, right? Because I do understand that there are several understandings of the entire universe and so on that we have come across ever since the Charvaks have, I wouldn't
I
say
thought,
extinct, but ever since we
okay,
have seen
so,
the last great.
okay, so cool. I'm okay with that. I thought New Charvak was just your
Right.
channel name.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, let's get to that later. I was inspired to make the channel after talking to you, but yeah, sure,
No,
I'll
I'm
ask
not.
you about
I'm
that.
not going to promote your channel. I'm just thinking. You told me
Right.
that you've started a channel. You sent me an email. Sorry, I could not reply. I
Yeah,
don't reply because there is a lot of email.
sure,
But
sure.
my point is,
Can we
in a
come to that at the
debate
end?
with someone, about
Yeah,
atheism, will you be able to say you are a neo Charvak? If neo
I
Charvak is not a
can.
thing that already exists, but you invented it, then why not just call yourself an atheist? It makes for much
I
less
mean,
confusion, right? Instead of inventing a new
things of
name
all
for
kinds, right?
yourself.
There are
Sorry.
neo-fascists, neo-conservatives, neo-Marxists, all sorts of neo people, right? It's not, ideas don't stagnate. Ideas improve and they
How many other
self-correct
neo
or
Charvaks?
they,
How many other neo Charvaks do you know? People who call themselves neo Charvak.
maybe not of that exact label, but I know people, for example, Kushal Mehra, who I
He calls
share a
himself
lot
a Charvak. He does
overlap
not
of
say
world.
neo Charvak. He says Charvak.
Right. Yeah,
And
my
I already
worldview has a
pointed
lot of
out why the
overlap.
label Charvak is not applicable.
I mean, okay, okay, can you exactly tell me why it's cultural appropriation though? Because it's not tied to an ethnicity, it's not a hereditary practice, it's not any of that, right? And also Charvak is,
Because in
let's
addition
forget
to
about what
calling
I
yourself
identify
Charvak, you're
myself.
also calling yourself an Hindu atheist. Hindu is a more
Okay, let's leave
contemporary
that aside
religious
for a moment.
label. Neo Charvak, if you ask me a question, please wait and hear my answer. You keep
Sure.
talking no matter what happens. Just give me a minute.
I'm sorry.
Cool?
Right. No, I just wanted to say that I have no particular affinity with the word Hindu atheist. I asked you why Charvak is a
Your
cultural
channel
appropriation. That's
bio
what I asked.
says that this channel is devoted to finding out what Hindu atheism is, and the channel is called Neo Charvak. Is there a linkage?
Sure.
Huh?
It's fine. It's not
What?
about that, Vimoh. It's not about that. I asked you how it's cultural appropriation because whenever we
I
usually use the term, it
listen. You
refers to.
asked me how it is cultural appropriation. I started by pointing out it is cultural appropriation if you call it Hindu atheism, and then you said I don't call it Hindu atheism, and then I said you do call yourself Hindu atheism because it's in your channel bio, and now you're saying no. I asked you how it is not cultural appropriation. I don't want to go in circles all over again. Are you, if you
Okay,
say right now that you are not going to call yourself a Hindu atheist, we don't have a debate. It's okay.
I I, I do call
We're
myself
cool.
I do call myself Hindu atheist because my identity lies at the intersection of those two identities. That is my reason.
Yeah. So you call yourself a Hindu atheist and you also call yourself a
Right.
Charvak, thereby creating a correlation or at least a linkage. And then you ask me how it is not cultural appropriation. Charvak were not Hindu. You taking them and adding them into the Hindu fold willy nilly for no reason is cultural appropriation.
Yeah, last time when we had a conversation, you told me that Hinduism it is a very specific thing, and the government has its own conception of it. That was what you said, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I gave a different definition for Hinduism. Yeah. So the definition of Hindu according to the Constitution, according to Article 25 2b, there are
Mhm.
specific conditions, right? First one is a Hindu is anyone who belongs to Vaishnava, Lingayat, or the followers of Brahmo Samaj or Arya Samaj. The second point
Mhm.
is anybody who's a Buddhist, Jain, or Sikh by religion. Third point is any other person domiciled in the territories to which this act extends, who is not a Muslim, not a Christian, Parsi, Jew by religion, unless it is proved that any other person would have not been. Okay, so basically, a Hindu is anybody except Hindu, Parsi, Jew, and Christian, right? So that is what a Hindu is. So
So
according to your own definition of
So
Hinduism,
Buddhists are Hindus.
they are a heretical form of Hinduism, just like Charvaks, just like Jains, just
But
like a lot
Buddhists
of
are
other.
Hindus?
Yeah, according to the Constitution of India.
Yes, the Buddhists don't like it. The Buddhists disagree with it. They don't like being called Hindu. Nor do Sikhs, by the way.
That is a different debate, right? I mean, they are. It is literally in the.
I'm telling you
You
that
told me
I'm
that my
I'm telling you
definition.
the source of my definitions. I'm telling you that if you go out and ask someone if what their religion is, they will say Hindu. The Constitution's definition is not the common definition. It is somewhat more esoteric, and it has to do with certain other reasons that I don't want to get into. But the common definition of a word is what we should use when we are having a conversation about common reality. Because if you and I are having a conversation about tomatoes, then we use the word as most people understand it. We say tomato, and most people understand tomato. So when I say Hindu, when most people say Hindu, they mean a religion that is distinct from Buddhism, Sikhism, Christianity, and Islam. I do not subscribe to the view that the word Hindu should be used as a marker for any identity, as if it is some kind of default which everyone resets to in the absence of any cultural identity. I think we already have a cultural identity. It is Indian. Hindu is just the
I
name
mean,
of a religion.
I only brought that up. I only brought that up because last time you told me that your definition of Hinduism is the one that the government has, right? You said I gave a particular definition of Hinduism. I'm not
No,
sure
I
what it
meant
was, and then you
government
said,
forms. I meant government forms. Sarkari forms, when you have to take which religion you are. In the list of religions, there is Hindu, right?
hmm,
In
okay,
that list, there is also Buddhist and Sikh, right?
right?
If the government thought that Hindu, Buddhist, and Sikh are the same thing, then why would there be three options? That's what I was referring to.
Mhm.
Common everyday practice.
Right.
Yeah.
I just have one question for you, Vimoh. Why do you think there are so few atheists in India? Why do you think there are so few identifiable atheists in people who identify themselves as atheists in India?
I don't know,
It's
man.
basically in the
Maybe it's
200s,
possible that many of
2000s.
them are uh, maybe some of them call themselves Hindu atheists like you, and when the form is in front of them and there's a identity called Hindu and then there's an identity called atheist, they just impulsively choose Hindu because it feels more at home for them. I don't think atheist as an identity. Is there an option, by the way? I'm just asking, is there an
No,
option in the
there is
government
an option.
forms,
Yeah,
which is what?
yeah.
None of the above?
When I was asked to fill out, I mean, I'm not sure about government forms, but when I was asked to fill out certain college forms, there were all sorts of options for college applications and so on. But I
Was one of
also
them
hit
atheist?
Hindu women. Yes,
Was
there
one of
was,
them
and
atheist?
you hit.
Okay.
Yes, there was. And you hit the
Hmm.
nail on the head, Vimoh, that there are multiple Hindu atheists who are atheists in any definition of the term, but they still identify as Hindu. You're exactly right. You got
Hmm.
the prognosis right. The thing is,
Hmm.
it is okay. So in India, in Hinduism there is a theological thing called Adhikara Beda, right? It basically translates to anybody who's theological acceptance basically. All in very simple layman terms, all ways lead to God or all religions lead to God or whatever, right? I mean, that is one of the principal this thing. So basically, a Hindu is anybody who does not call himself by any other label and exclude himself from the rest of society. So
Hmm.
I'll just end my thing with this. I am a Hindu atheist because Hindu society doesn't ostracize me or does not say that I am not one of their own. If they did that,
You don't
then I
need.
would not. Then I would
See,
be an atheist.
I clarified this in my video. Uh, the reason I don't feel it necessary to call myself a Hindu atheist is because I don't need permission from Hindu society to be an atheist.
Permission to be Hindu atheist among the Hindu society. That's the thing.
I
To
don't
be
need
a
it.
to
I
be
don't need it. They can keep it. I am an
no. The thing
atheist,
is,
and I have the
yeah.
right to be an atheist. That right has been granted to me by the Constitution of India. Nobody needs the permission of Hindu society to be an atheist. You
No,
are a Hindu.
I didn't mean it like
You're a
that.
Hindu who feels grateful towards his own religion. That's none of my problem. Feel grateful. But I don't need the permission of Hindu society to be an atheist.
Sure, Vimoh. Yeah, I think we
Okay.
can end there. I just have a question. Do you have any tips on how to grow a YouTube channel?
consistency. No matter what you do it regularly, so that your audience
Right.
knows uh, that on this schedule they will get something from you. That's the only, like, I'm quite flattered that you're asking me for YouTube advice. My channel has like 7,000 subscribers, but the only thing I know how to do is be consistent. So that's my only advice to you. Best of
Right.
luck.
And thanks for that. Thank you.
Chalo, bye bye.
Yeah, bye. Vimoh.
That was Neo Charwak. And wait, still, is Avi gone? Okay, Avi is gone. Let's take Rahul. Hi, Rahul. Rahul Kurup. Go on.
Hey, Vimoh. Can you hear me?
Hey. Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I was introduced to your channel through Science is Dope / Pranav Radhakrishnan, and I'm amazed. I'm just amazed that your type of
Thank you.
content is there, and I'm like, it's like a safe space for me, to say things that, to believe in things like, that other people would
Wait.
like.
What? What safe space? Don't get my channel demonetized.
Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah, semantics is everything. Yeah, understand.
Yeah. Go on. No, I was kidding. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, community, and don't be afraid of my DP. I look like conservative, but I really want to appropriate that look. So.
I can hardly see your DP. I see someone
Oh,
standing
good.
like the
Even better.
standing
Even
like the
better.
phantom. Go on. Go on.
Yeah. So like, yeah, and carry on the good work. And actually, I wanted to ask you a couple of things. I saw one video of yours where you were talking about English and like the whole debate on what should be the national language. Some guy had it with you a while ago, and I was actually surprised when you said that English is your native language, because
Yeah.
I was like,
Not my native language. I think English should be classified as an Indian language. Enough
yeah,
number of
I that
Indian people
that
speak it.
concept blew my mind actually, because like all this time it was always drilled in our head that English is an
Hmm.
invader's language. And like the funny thing about me is I used to have a speaking problem growing up, and my parents used to had a choice. The doctor told them that if I wanted to speak at 5 years of age, I should choose between one language only for now, and they settled
Hmm.
for English because that is the
Okay.
more the language is better opportunities. So
Hmm.
like I read, talk, and speak in English, and sometimes I wonder whether I get this sense of disconnect, because there are lots of communities around me. There are Gujarati communities, Hindi speaking
Hmm.
communities. And then
No,
when
no,
you
you
go
should
and
not. You should not. English is a perfectly Indian language. It has been in India for long enough time. It has a history in India. There are plenty of people in India whose native language is English. There are plenty of writers in India who write only in English. I think it's perfectly okay to call English an Indian language.
yeah,
You
and like there is a little fear in the mind that when they start saying Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan, you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
this
yeah,
feeling of like
yeah,
what are we? Are we like, do we
yeah.
not belong here even though we speak English?
I
I
mean,
mean, I
I call it Hindi belt imperialism. Because if the reason behind rejecting a language is that it came from outside, then in Tamil Nadu, Hindi came from outside, right? In West Bengal, uh, Marathi came from outside. Inside
yeah.
outside के logic से language को reject करना, I don't think it makes much sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I want to like grab my head around this and say, okay, English is fine. You're
Yeah.
still an Indian, even if you are a English speaker.
Never let people define what Indian means. India is far too big a concept to be defined by people with one particular native language.
Yeah, I mean, like, there should be more acceptance, and Indians have contributed to the English language also. So many words we have put into the language, like bazaar, kaleidoscope,
Hmm.
prepone. Like
Hmm.
prepone is the most popular word. We added that also into the English language. So
Hmm.
I don't. I mean, I am like, when you said English is not a is a native language of India. So I was like, okay, somebody said what was there in the back of my head, but now I have that thing to express. So it's good to know
Yeah.
that I'm not alone in that what do you call it, that thought set. And
Absolutely.
I hope
Absolutely.
to, yeah, it's yeah, I just hope people are not hung up over language, and we still move forward as a country, even if we speak different languages, and even if the power center is in the north as opposed to the south, we still find a way to get along. I know
Hmm.
it's a bit tough in these political times, but like, yeah, you know, sorry, I'm gushing over this fact right now. So,
No issues. Is there anything
so
else you wanted to talk about?
yeah, about pop culture, Indian pop culture,
Hmm.
primarily, and atheism, like in relation to atheism.
Hmm.
Actually, if I see a lot of Bollywood movies, even some South movies also, there is still this attachment of religious identity to the heroes, right? Like,
Hmm.
I have not heard of any mainstream atheistic, uh, I don't know, hero. Maybe Bhagat Singh movies count. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't watch many movies, so I would not be able to help you there. But atheism in popular culture, we have
in India.
had, yeah. So we have heroes who, like, even the films that we talked about, like PK and OMG, etc. They were kind of not atheism movies, but they were definitely anti-organized religion movies. So that is the extent of our atheism in pop culture in India, I think.
Mm,
People will not reject religion. They will criticize religion sometimes. They will sometimes say that religion needs reform, and sometimes they will even say it loudly and very vociferously. But they will not say that I do not believe in God, or that religion should be dismantled, or religion is a bad influence on society. So that is the extent right now. Maybe things will change in the future.
yeah, but do you think it is out of fear or out of profit that people don't indulge in such topics?
Could be both. Could be fear, and could be that these people are genuinely religious people who think that religion needs reform. There are people
Yeah.
like those also, right? We should not assume that everyone who follows a religion is of the view that their religion can do no wrong. There are many people who are religious and yet liberal enough to see the faults in religion.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to, I mean, I hope, like, a lot of standards have been changing. Like, earlier kissing used to be so taboo in Hindi movies, and now
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
like literally now there's a standard that there has to be one kissing scene. So maybe if kissing can improve, then other things can improve. It's a
So
very
kissing is a small
stupid.
fry. Kissing is a small
Yeah,
fry
small
compared
fry.
to big
Exactly,
topics.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like, little things give hope. I don't know. Maybe it's a
Okay.
stupid hope, but it's some hope. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Yeah, it's cool, man. And I appreciate your room. Yeah, it's amazing. Raj comics, Ben 10, Naruto, books.
Thanks, man.
Wow. I just love your life, man. I
Thank
mean,
you.
you're the way why you're presenting. Yeah. Okay. Carry on,
Bye
man,
bye.
and may your tribe grow. Yeah. Chill.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Bye bye. That was Rahul. Oh, wait, what did I do? Hmm. Okay, that was Rahul. Let's see. Before I proceed, let me just take some super chats. Naveen, thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. Much appreciated. Bernali sends 100 rupees and says, Vimo, please debunk the claims of the channel HyperQuest. I haven't seen much videos that replies to this particular channel. Bernali, you pointed this out a few months ago, and I did watch some of their videos. And the thing that I noticed was that their content is actually not bad. Their thumbnails are a little sensationalist, but the their videos about uh, Indian philosophy are actually quite good. So I don't know what you want me to debunk. If there is one specific video on that channel that you think is wrong, please send me the link. I realize that you also asked me for my email. It's vimo@vimo.in. If you go to the about section of my channel, you click on the email thing, you'll find the email. Also, you can go to my website and click on the feedback button or message button. I don't know what it is called. Click on it. It's the same email address, vimo@vimo.in. You can send me the particular video that you want me to respond to here. J. Jonah Jameson, thank you for the 179 rupees. Your take on people siding in Israel-Palestine conflict. My take on people siding. I don't know what you mean by people siding. My take is that Palestine should be free, and that there is effectively no difference between the statement free Palestine and end the violence. Israel is an apartheid state. It is committing atrocities on the people of Gaza, and it needs to stop. Hamas, in case anyone wants me to condemn it, obviously is a bunch of assholes. Also, thank you, Laveen, for becoming a new member. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Let me take a look at the private chat to see who else is there. अरे यार प्लीज ऐड मी मत बोलो बोलो किस बारे में बात करना चाहते हो. So there is um, someone called Quasar. Quasar kidhar hai? Oh, Quasar is gone. Okay, let's take Deeps. Deeps. Hey Deeps.
Hi, Vimoh.
Hello. What's up?
So I'm yeah. So I love your content and sorry for the last
Thank you.
time. I will just take a short time.
Sorry about
So
what?
Vimoh, I will just take a shorter time. I won't take much of your time.
Okay, go on.
So Vimoh, after listening to you, I am deeply puzzled. See, if you see nature, I find so much of order. Like if you take the case of reptiles or birds, the egg they lay, so all the nutrients are there. Am I really to accept all these are coming from random processes in nature, from
No, but
just
nobody
chemistry?
says it's random processes. There is order in nature, yeah.
But that's what atheism says, right? That's what.
No, it
That's what.
doesn't. It doesn't. Atheism is simply I lack belief in God. We don't deny that order exists.
Okay, so atheism does not have any take on how there is order in nature, how there is life.
We see order. We see what you are defining as order, and we say, yeah, there is order. We don't make a leap from there to say that this order must have been created by an intelligent being.
So you are not accepting any supernatural, creator being. So that's your
Yeah,
stance.
yeah, because there is no evidence of it. Order is plainly visible. Yeah.
Cool. And Vimo, so there is a cosmic, as far as the whole universe is there, since there is life, I conclude that there is an order in the whole universe because of which there is life. Can I make that assumption? There is a cosmic
You
order.
conc-
For example, the tiger
what do
eating
you
the
mean?
lion.
What do you mean by cosmic order?
Cosmic order in the sense the way things are moving. There is some order in that. For example, a tiger
Why are you
eating a
calling
deer.
it?
That is also part of the cosmic order.
No, I'm
I'm
trying to
calling it
understand.
order because it has given rise
Huh.
to life.
You're calling it order because it has given rise to life. So, what's special about life?
Yes. The special thing about life is I am part of that. So I want to know what is my relation to this order that is existing outside. So how can I relate with that? That's the problem for me. How can I relate with the order that is present out there?
I
So
don't understand your question. What do you mean? How can I relate to this order?
uh, okay, I will put it this way: a volcanic eruption, a tiger killing a deer, human beings getting diseases. All these are, if you consider the whole universe as a whole, all these are a universal order, part of that order. The way I am born, to which parents I was born, how I raised, where I grew, my privileges, all these are also part of that order. So
Hmm.
what actions I am performing and that relationship to this order, that is where I think religion plays a part. We call that order as God, that universal order.
Why call it God?
Because the human beings of those times didn't know how to relate with it, so they called it as God. They might have given it a being kind of nature that we can change it now, but
If
basically we are
human
bothered
beings
about the order.
if human beings of that time could not understand it, and that is why they call it God, you are not a human being from that time. You understand it, right?
Sure.
Then why are
So
you
I'm
calling it
calling
God?
it, okay, I will drop the word God, I will call it
Okay.
order.
Okay.
So basically our whole focus is how can I relate to that order. So what am I to do based on
See,
that
that's the
order, like how should
question.
I live life?
That is the question that I'm not understanding. What do you mean? How can I relate to that order?
See, mathematicians have caught some part of that order. They find there's mathematical structures in the
Okay.
universe. So they say
Okay.
that universe is mathematical. But I think you heard of Gödel's incompleteness theorem, which states that
Hmm.
even given within a set of axioms, it need not be, you can't prove all the theorems. There will be few unprovable theorems. So there
Huh.
is a hole in every model. Even atheist model, there is some missing understanding. There is, you can't explain everything.
Oh, atheist model has plenty of missing understanding. The thing that it has is honesty about the fact that we are missing an understanding.
Sure.
When we see something and we say, hey, this is this way, we say, yeah, this is this way. we then don't jump from it to saying that this is this way because X, because there is no evidence of it.
That's
We
very
are
much
able to see
appreciated.
nature. We are able to see nature as clearly as you are, but we refrain from jumping to conclusions about the reasons behind it if there is no evidence. That's it.
That's good. And yeah, and religious people are a little bit overconfident in stating they know the things, that they have the ultimate
Yeah.
answer. So that's so. So, but basically,
Overconfident
the
or
whole
dishonest. I think dishonest is also a good word, because if you say that you know something that you don't know, then that's dishonest, isn't it?
yeah, that is right.
Hmm.
That's dishonesty. So, but I think the mystics of India from the ancient times, they had
Hmm.
captured some part of that order about
What do you mean?
consciousness. So
What do you mean captured? Understood?
they have captured. They have, like, how mathematicians have understood some part, physicists have
So
understood some
understood.
part,
Use the word.
biologists,
You want to say understood when you say captured?
yeah,
Okay.
understood a part of this cosmic order. So one of the
Okay.
important things they worked on was consciousness. I don't want to use the word, it's because there's many misunderstandings. I will call it the experience of taste, experience of sight.
You don't need, like, everyone understands that, right? Everyone with a tongue or any sense organs understands that.
That is right, but we are they mainly focused on experience. How can I put it? They studied experience, like how a biologist studies cells, how biology studies the organism, the anatomy. So they observe the experience.
Can you tell me
So
how they studied experience?
so the important fact they noticed was, I am not the doer of any action. I am just the life which brings all the activities, which, how can I put it? Which shines light and brings it to existence. The thought current, I am not the thinker. There's a thought current happening independent
Then
of
who's the?
me. I am just the
Okay.
screen on which everything is happening. All the movie is being played. So I am the screen.
Okay. Okay.
So I remain as the screen and I observe all the things happening. And in this way, I relate to the cosmic order. So monotheism is very constrictive. One God. That one God, they refer to the cosmic order. That is very narrow. I mean, there is less freedom. Polytheism is more free. And I think, but this is the whole focus of the religious inquiry.
No, at the end of it, when you're saying that people have experiences and then they study the experiences, what were those people doing, those ancient scholars of yours, that you and I are not doing right now?
Okay, I will give some context. In those times, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, this whole area was above there was Himalayas, and down they
Hmm.
were protected by the three oceans. So it was
Yeah.
like a more secured land. There were
Hmm.
monsoon rains, very fertile land. So there was so much of abundance of resources.
Hmm.
So people were not that much into conflicts, how to make money. They were very free. So they
No, no,
observed the
I
experiences and
get
they
that.
found out
I
how to.
asked you, I asked you, you and I are having experiences right now, right? Those ancient
Yeah,
scholars you mentioned, they also had experiences, or as you said, they studied experience.
yeah. They studied. They put their whole life to how, who am I
I
to
get
see
it.
what is my.
What were they doing that you and I are not doing right now? Because
They
it
were free
feels
from
like
the social
ex,
pressures.
ex what?
They were free from the social pressures we have now.
How do you know that?
That's what I'm describing. The land was very fertile. We had a lot of resources. There was no much
No,
tension.
no, that's a leap, I think. You, at the end of the day, you're talking about human beings who created some theories about experience and consciousness. I'm
Yes, yes.
saying we all do that. We are doing it right now.
Yeah,
So
we are doing
what
it
were
right
they
now.
doing different? What was different fundamentally about their theories of experience? Because it's not the same method as any scientist uses. A scientist who is studying animals can compare his notes about animals with another human being. How do you compare your experience with another human being?
Sure. Vimoh, now first I want to address the first part. Now we are able to do because of all this technological development. But during the industrialization era, I don't think human beings were that free. During industrialization, capitalism's growth, human beings are forced to work. There was no free time available for inquiry. I mean,
Okay,
after
so
colonialism.
I think that can be said about ancient India also. There were not everyone was a sadhu who is sitting at a in a forest researching about experience. There were people who had to work for a living back then also. We are living in the same conditions. We should not think that ancient India was some fairyland where everyone was
No,
just,
no, I am not
sitting
saying
under a
that.
tree and yeah.
No, I am trying to understand their mindset.
No,
So
I only
India,
pointed out. I only pointed it out because you said there is a difference between the social conditions. There is some difference, but it is not that different.
now we are almost same. Now with this technological boom, we are almost the same. So that time the society, these whom they called as sadhus, were people who are studying the cosmic order, how we can live a orderly life with respect to this, how the universe is. Can I find a home somewhere? The belongingness for human beings. That was their primary work.
I don't know what you mean.
So there were people, sadhus, who don't marry, who are free, completely free from the social grid. They won't marry. They don't bother about social relationships. They were just completely left alone, and people will feed them, fund them,
Okay.
and they were studying, who am I? Who am I in sense? What is my position in this vast cosmos? How can I relate with it, and how can I live the best orderly life with respect to that? If
And
there is a
what
heat death,
conclusions?
what am I to
What
do so
conclusions?
that
What
I can?
conclusions did they come to?
They came to this important finding that the self is an illusion. I am just the experience. I am the stuff that makes the experience, and to take this to normal, very, what to say, even the illiterate man should understand this. So they devised the deity worship. You can take any god you want, but if you that god represents the whole universe, and so even in the worst hopelessness, you can relate to the cosmic order and do something. Even if you're about to die by hunger or something, poverty, you can somehow, you can have this link to the cosmic order. So I'm always at home. I'm not becoming an orphan. In this way, human beings will get grounded. I don't know. I'm not able to put it more clearly in words. I hope you get
Let
what
me
I'm
let me
saying.
say it, and you tell me if I've got it wrong. The sadhus did. The sadhus explored the nature of their consciousness and came to the conclusion that there is no self. But
Self is just
then,
experience.
but then, in order to explain it to other people, why could they not tell them that the self does not exist? Why did they have to create gods?
They have explained, actually the scriptures are their writing. The people who explored it, it's their writing, and there is inconsistencies, pseudoscience, because those times we didn't have so much
Yeah,
knowledge.
yeah.
So they had all the superstitious beliefs, because they didn't know about microscope, they didn't know about
They didn't have
viruses.
microscopes. I get that. I get that. But my
So they
question
attributed
is,
to the supernatural.
why?
That is,
If the
yeah,
sadhus came to the conclusion that the self does not exist, why did they then create gods?
it is for the seekers. See, suppose I become a sadhu now. I do the seeking. I interact with many other people, my predecessors who have, I mean, my seniors who have done
Hmm.
those seeking. I stay with them. That was called ashramam. So I stay with them. I live. I see how they're living. I talk with them, interact with them, and I carry on. I don't remain there long. So the shastras are written by them to guide the seekers who are coming. So they have problem. They never said we are completely true, but we have the ultimate answer, which is you are the experience. That's all. It's not final. It's an ultimate understanding of yourself. That's all. It's ultimate, not final. But these guys are,
But that ultimate understanding contained gods.
yeah. The purpose of God is just to see this fact. For example, they said Ganesha has the whole cosmos in his belly. So if you, it's like a poetic way of saying it. How to say it? Like
So
it's
poetry. Good, good, good. That's a good word. You tell me, you're telling me they came to some conclusions about the universe that they could not communicate in any way except poetry.
uh, actually the poetry was meant for the illiterate, like the farmers. They can't understand. They don't have time to understand all this. He is
Okay,
working in
so
the
tell
field.
me the real one. Tell me the understanding that is beyond poetry, that is understandable by the non-farmers.
Yeah. So for the layman, they presented this deity worship as a way to relate to the cosmic order. You don't have to learn all these scriptures, all those things. You do
Just
your
get
work
to
in
the
the field.
cosmic. Just get to the cosmic order part.
The cosmic order is I am the experience. There is no separate me who is struggling with the whole thing. I am just the experience. If there is sadness, I am the sadness. If
Do
I
other
identify
people
it,
exist? Do other people exist?
other people definitely exist. I'm not saying any weird stuff regarding that.
Hmm.
As far as I am concerned, for the first person, I am the experience. If I capture this fact, this ultimate truth, I get the intelligence to live the life. That's all. I get the
But
intelligence
I don't.
to.
I don't see the great insight here. I don't understand what the great insight here is. You are experiencing things. So what? Everyone knows this.
I am the experience. I am not the one experiencing it. So I am free. I am not identified. See, I am Deepan. I am this person.
Do you have a
I want.
body? Do you have a
I have a
body?
body. Body is there. I am the experience happening in the body.
Okay, but then the body is also part of it, right?
Sure, sure. Body is part of it.
Then the
Intelligence.
body exists.
Body exists. Body exists.
Can you
Intelligence
have the
exists.
experience? Can you have the experience without the body?
No, it's not possible. I mean, I don't know.
Then
We
the
don't know.
body, then you are not the experience, right? You are the body having the experience.
Sure, we are not making any spooky claims like that. I'm just saying body exists.
No, I'm saying, listen, I said, take me to the cosmic conclusion. And you said that the cosmic conclusion was that I am the experience. I'm not the person.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. That's
Then
make
I
it
asked
possible.
you if there is a body, and you said, yes, there is a body. If there is a body, then you're not just an experience, right? Because you can't have the experience without the body.
Sure, there's no experience without the body. There's no me without the body. The body comes from my ancestors, biology, evolution, all those processes put together. But I am, as far as my position is concerned, who am I? I am the experience arising in this nervous system. Just stay with that. That gives you the intelligence to live your life. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, see, my point is the same as last time. You're not really saying anything that is new here. Everyone knows experience. It doesn't matter how you describe it. You can say I'm having an experience, or you can say I am the experience. The end result remains the same.
No.
What is the difference? Tell me this. Tell me this. Tell me this. I am the experience, and I am having the experience. What is the difference?
I am having the experience implies I am a solid person who is experiencing that.
Are you not
So
a
that
solid
makes me
person?
struggle.
Are you not a solid
No, I am
person?
the fluid. No. From the first person view, I am the experience itself. The solid person is the
Hold
cause
on,
of disorder.
hold on. We're getting somewhere. I am the experience, and I am having an experience has one difference. The second one means that you're a solid person. You are saying that I am the experience and I'm not having the experience, which means that you are taking away the solid person. Is that because it is convenient to take away the solid person, or is it because the solid person does not exist?
It is because the solid person is responsible for the disorder.
The solid person is also responsible for all the experiences. Without the solid person, without the body, you can't have the experience, right?
I agree. Body is responsible for experience. But I am the experience. This you have to see consciously. I can't explain it. This is my conclusion. This is my
No,
observation.
it's a little. I'm sorry if I'm hurting your sentiments or anything, but it's a word salad. At the end of the day, you can't have experiences if you do not acknowledge other things, and by that I include your body, other people, trees, wind, etc. The real world matters as far as experience is concerned. You cannot isolate yourself inside yourself and think that I am the experience, I am all there is. uh, I mean, to the best, I don't know how else to put it either. We're both struggling with sentences here, but I think that when you say I am experiencing a tree, you can't say I am the tree, because the tree is separate from you, and without the tree being out there, you cannot experience the tree.
I agree with all that. That is all. That is
Hmm.
the part of cosmic order. Biology is working. The nerve cells, cones, rods, all that's working. I don't disagree with any of that. Consciously, I am the experience. This may sound like a woo-woo, but I have no other way of putting it. I will think about it.
Find a better way of saying it, maybe, because right now
Yeah,
you're not. It doesn't appear as if you're saying anything that's extraordinary. It's just the lived experience of every human being that we experience things.
but they're living it with the illusion of I am a solid being. So I
So
die. So
that's what I'm saying. That's not an illusion. You are a solid being.
okay, I
How is that
consider
an
this.
illusion? If the body exists and reality exists, how is it an illusion?
I'm not the body. I'm just the experience.
You are the
Okay.
body. You are the body. You are having an experience. But anyway, we talked about this last time also. It's
okay.
इतना
So
घूम
I
घाम
want
के
to.
we are back to right where we are.
Okay. This is the hard problem of consciousness. Okay, I am still thinking about it. Scientists are saying consciousness is a weak emergence. I will read about it. And yeah, I just read Isha Upanishad. I have not read the
Read
Vedas.
about it. Find a better way of saying it. Come back.
Okay.
We'll talk. Cool.
And I actually love your content and thank you for your patience. You're really
Thank
a
you.
patient
It's
man.
okay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You
Nice
this
talking
has
to
been a great conversation. Thank you, and do come again. Bye bye.
you. Thank you so much.
सॉरी उसके सो के बीच में कट गया. That was Deeps. Let's see who else. We are at the 1 hour 9 minute mark, but मैं आज थोड़ा लंबा कर सकता हूँ. Let's see. प्रसन्न गायकवाड़. हाय प्रसन्न. प्रसन्न बैकग्राउंड में कोई चिल्ला रहा है क्या? प्रसन्न. प्रसन्न. Okay, Prasanna is aprasanna. I think he has left. No, he's not left. He's still here, but wait, let's try him again. Prasanna, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nope. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, go on.
Hello? Yeah, I can hear. Hi, Vimoh.
Go on. Hi.
I'm
I can
very
hear you. Go
excited to
on.
talk to you today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
I'm
talk.
very excited.
Okay.
This is my
No
first
issues.
time, so I can make mistakes.
Go on. किस बारे में बात करनी थी?
So, so my English is very bad. If you can.
हिंदी में बात कर सकते हैं प्रसन्न, बोलिए. कोई बात नहीं. हिंदी में बात कर सकते हैं, बोलिए.
मैं कर्नाटका से हूँ, मुझे हिंदी भी उतना नहीं आता, तो मैं ट्राई कर सकता हूँ.
अच्छा, नहीं जो भी लैंग्वेज इंग्लिश या हिंदी मुझे आती है. द थर्ड लैंग्वेज इज ओडिया, व्हिच आई डोंट थिंक यू विल बी एबल टू स्पीक. सो जो भी आपके लिए ज़्यादा बेहतर है, आप यूज़ कर
Yeah,
सकते
I
हैं.
don't.
इंग्लिश, हिंदी आर बोथ ओके. वी कैन इवन टॉक इन अ मिक्सचर ऑफ बोथ.
Yeah, we can talk like that. So basically, my question is, so the Hindi imposition you are talking about. So what is wrong with learning Hindi? So I'm a Kannadiga. I can only speak Kannada. So if I try to learn Hindi or English, so if I learn Hindi, was that make any difference learning English?
No, nobody is saying don't learn Hindi. Learn Hindi, but the problem is that see, there's a power hierarchy of languages. There are tribal languages which don't get much exposure and are indeed dying because local languages overtake them in cultural power. There are local languages which are facing threats because of Hindi, which is overtaking them in cultural power. Then there is Hindi, which is getting sidetracked because of the cultural power of English. We should not think of Hindi as a language which everybody needs to speak. We should only protect Hindi when it is under threat. And I don't think Hindi is under threat. Local languages are more in threat. There are people living in Mumbai for 30 years who don't know a word of Marathi. There are people living in Odisha who are Odia people who don't know a single word of Odia. So I'm not saying don't learn Hindi. I'm just saying don't sidetrack other languages because of Hindi. प्रसन्न.
Hello.
हाँ, सुनाई दिया?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay,
Yeah, I can hear. So my problem is, my surname is Gaikwad, so I am Marathi person, so I can understand Marathi, Kannada, English, and Hindi. I don't have any problems with, but learning languages is an other skill. Like if I have to learn English, so I face same challenges as learning. Yeah,
you
so
face challenges in learning what?
So why should I learning English or Hindi? Same challenges. So
Okay.
if I learn Hindi, it will make me. So how should I express it? So sorry, my English is very very bad and my Hindi is also bad. I'm apologizing for you.
It's okay.
So can you recommend me any apps to learn English?
Any what?
I'm pretty nervous now. Any apps?
Any app?
Or any YouTube channel? Any app or any?
My best recommendation is that you should, like, I don't know about any apps because I don't use apps that much. When I was young, the way I learned to speak English was by watching star movies. I went to a Sarkari school and I learned the grammar there But until I was 20 years old, I hadn't really spoken much English. I knew how to read and write, but I was not that good a speaker of English. I used to mispronounce many words. So the best thing is watch things in English, do your best to understand them, and then practice speaking. If you have friends, speak in English with them. If their English is bad, then even better. You can both make mistakes without feeling embarrassed about it. Speaking will make you better. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Okay, can you recommend me any other YouTube channels that talk about English or try
Talk about
to
English.
improve my
I
English?
don't. I don't know, but there are some channels. If you just search on YouTube for "Learn English" or "Learn English in India," you'll find a bunch of channels. There are many of those. I've seen them occasionally, but I don't know the names of them.
Okay, okay,
English
thank you.
सीखें या maybe I'm sure there are channels which will help Kannada speaking people learn English better. If you search for them, I'm sure you'll find them.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Prasanth. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Prasann. We are at 1 hour 15 minutes. Layman को लेते हैं. Hi, Layman.
Vimoh, good evening.
Hey,
Yep.
good evening. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? How are you? How's been your week?
Good. Week has been a little up and down, mostly health stuff and other stuff, but it's been okay.
Cool. Awesome. You're great with your content. I absolutely love it. So
Thanks,
how
man.
you're very grounded with logic and the place you come from with your thoughts. The way you express is really good. I've been a follower of yours, and what I am missing is your ask me questions on Instagram. You used to do small videos for questions
Oh,
asked
yeah,
on
yeah.
Instagram. Are you planning to do it again? Because I think I have few questions.
I will, but I have realized that it is a good idea to have a bit of a gap between them, because if on a particular day a certain thing is trending,
Yeah.
then I get like 200, 300 questions. More than half of them are about that one thing, which makes it very easy to ignore most of them. I can just answer one and be done with it. But sometimes what happens is that people will ask the same damn thing every time. I could tell you 20 questions that I get every single time I put that out, and I'm kind of tired of it. So I put a gap between them so that people send new stuff.
Yeah.
That's mostly it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So getting back to what I want to speak, a little bit context before that. So this week has been an academic experience for me, and also with my field practicums going on. I had an opportunity to visit some what do you say, some institutions and centers which helps kids with disabilities, right? Which does occasional training for them, and also rehabilitation, etc. Okay. So my question comes from there after visiting couple of them, or even more than couple of them. So we see there special educators and everyone who's catering to the children with disability. So the help that is provided is quite commendable. It is something that they have taken up, which is very noble and also very authentic in nature. The way they love people, and the way the affection they show for kids with disability is quite good, and I really loved it. That kind of made me think on one other line as well. So we speak a lot of order and how a conscious being is the reason behind the order. I mean, that is spoken, not that we both agree on, or not the audience agree
Got
on.
it. Got it.
But yeah, that is there. So what would be their argument when we ask this very question for them? So it is humanity which is rescuing the other part of humanity which has sufferings.
Who are we asking?
So people who believe in the order and how consciousness or how God or divine intervention, people who believe them, right? So my question for them would be that humanity comes to rescue the other part of humanity which goes with sufferings. The example that I saw has been the disability.
Got it.
So when it is other humans who go and who help them, or who provide an intervention to make those with sufferings better. If there are no such interventions by humans, we have seen deaths, and we have seen sufferings, even be it in pandemic when people help, right? Be it nurses, or be it people in medical profession. So when that is there, why is humanity still in seek of a divine intervention? I'd like to know from them, when they say that God is the conscious being who is responsible for creation, etc., is the same God of yours responsible for the creation which also has put suffering in it? If yes, and if the God's intervention is to create another bunch of humans to probably help
Hmm.
this part of humanity with sufferings,
Hmm.
is God sadist? I mean, that's what I want
Have
to
you
ask.
asked them?
Is
Have you
God
asked
so
them?
sadist? I mean, I have couple of people that I could ask, but they're like, I don't want to speak about divine interventions at all. Maybe they don't want to get into a argument of that. But because I know you would have such arguments with so many other people, with your live streams or even
Hmm.
otherwise, what has been
Oh,
your
okay. You're
experience?
asking
What
me
is your
what my
thoughts?
experience
Yeah,
tells me about the
yeah.
responses.
What does it say to you? Like, what would they say?
Sorry, bad health.
It's okay.
Uh, there will be a few kinds of people. One kind of person will be very tribalistic. If you ask them why is there suffering, they will blame other human beings. And then you ask them why is there order and joy, they will say God. Their definitions do not come from an actual observed reality. Their definition comes from preconceived ideas that the religion has given them. So God is always good. Even if something bad happens, it is good. If something bad happens to me, must have been a good reason behind it. If there's something bad that happens to enemies, देखा वो लोग मेरे गॉड को फॉलो नहीं करते थे इसलिए. So God is good becomes their foundation of everything, life, how to explain things that happen, etc. That's one kind of person. The second kind of person is kind of non-committal, and they would say things like they will say things like if they're a Christian, they will say something about free will and original sin. If they're Hindu, they'll say something about karma. If they're Muslim, I don't know what they will say. I guess it's just God's will and stuff like that. So different people have different responses depending on the kind of stuff they've been taught. I find it useful to not talk about what a religious person would say with another atheist. It is always better that if you want to understand the point of view of a religious person, talk to them.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally get it. I understand. I understand why you would say that.
Because
Yeah.
we'll
So
otherwise
that's
create some one size fits all solution that some religious person will come. No, I don't believe that. Like last week,
both. Yeah.
last week we had a person who called himself a Hindu atheist. He
Ah,
was here earlier today also.
yes,
Yesterday,
I
I
saw.
got a comment from another person who said, I'm a Hindu and I've never met anyone who calls himself a Hindu atheist.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
two Hindus are disagreeing
So,
completely about an issue of this importance.
right. Yeah, that also makes sense. So two atheists speaking about what would religious person's perception
Yeah.
be on this
Better to
would
just speak
almost
nothing.
be a null and void question or a
Yeah.
redundant question. I
Yeah.
understand. But I
Almost every
mean, again,
conclusion you and I are likely to reach here will be nullified
would
by someone who, yeah,
would be on
a
those
waste
lines.
of
Yeah, I
time.
mean, it is that I have not exposed a lot to my to life yet, at least to life experiences. Yes,
Hmm.
my exposure is a little limited on that sense, you can say. So
Hmm.
that's one. And yeah, that's majorly what I wanted to speak about. And also when the last caller was speaking about order, right? So how
Hmm.
I am experience. It's not I am experiencing. I am experience. So it almost sounded like in English we the way I learnt about figure of speeches. Simile
Hmm.
means I am like this. Metaphor is I am this. So it
Yeah.
almost sounded like I am
It's,
experiencing.
yeah.
No, I am the experience. So it is like
Yeah.
some superlative figure of speech. What is happening? So I mean,
No, I
yeah,
think he's
that's,
he's reasonably open-minded. He'll snap out of it,
yeah,
I think, because what is happening? He's young, right? And I used to believe in a whole lot of shit when I was young. And the problem is our mistakes when we were young. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 40 years old. The
mm,
mistakes I made, as far as these things are concerned, are gone. Nobody will ever see them.
sure.
These guys, if they make a mistake, it will stay online forever. So it becomes even more important to be gentle with them. Otherwise,
Yeah,
they will double down on something and then they'll remain that way just out of
true.
coolness.
True. So the one who came, I mean, who was speaking on the consciousness, he
Hmm.
is very consistent on your channel, I must say. I mean, I
Nice.
have seen
I think,
almost all the
yeah,
chats
yeah,
that he
yeah.
has had on video call, right?
And you
So
know
really
what?
good.
When I see his comments and stuff, I'm reminded of myself from about 12,
Yes.
13 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I am 28. If you would like to know that, yeah, I'm 28.
Oh, okay. So you're more
Yeah,
than 10
just
years younger than I am. Thanks,
yeah,
man.
yeah, sure. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Nothing much.
Okay.
And yeah, thanks for the shout out, by the way. I am Sandarsh. I had mailed you, and I have
Yes,
started to
yes, I know,
blog.
I know. You've also been on the channel before.
I've been on the channel, of course. I've been on
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
channel with my real name. Now I thought I'll
Yes.
get through this. But yeah, thanks so
Hmm.
much for your shout out. And yes, thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
have a
Thank
great
you.
rest of the stream. Thank you.
Bye bye. That was Sandarsh, and he's gone. Before I move on to the next one, I think I'll take one or two more. Before I move on to them, let me just thank people for Rahul Kurup. Thank you for the 200 rupee super chat. Vimoh rocks. Thank you. Satyamev Jayate, thank you for becoming a new member. Chikur Chuchumb, welcome back and thank you for the 100 rupee super sticker. Deeps has sent 40 rupees. Thank you, Deeps. Deep says, thank you for patiently listening. We'll think about it. Yes, do think about it. And when you have a better way of explaining it, please do come back and we'll talk. Chikur Chuchumb again sends 40 rupees. Prasanna Gaikwad, are you a relative of Shivaji Gaikwad? Who's Shivaji Gaikwad? Is that movie character played by Rajnikant? I think so, yeah. Satyamev says, bring Science Journey as guest. This dude's really changed assumptions I made about India and Indian history. Oh, yeah. Uh, I want to. I don't know how to. I'm talking to some people. If it works out, he'll be here, I suppose. They'll be here. I don't know their gender. Thank you for the €6. Satyamev Jayate. Much appreciated. Let's see. Who can I take next? Mm, Archie asks, how many more people would I be taking? Archie, I'll be taking two more people, I think. Let's take Archie. What does Archie want to talk about? Hold on. Archie, तुम्हारा टॉपिक क्या है भाई? ओके, आर्ची इसका टॉपिक नहीं है, पर देखते हैं. पहले आर्ची, उसके बाद देखते हैं अगला कौन है. आर्ची, you're online. आर्ची? आर्ची? आर्ची, तुम्हारी आवाज़ नहीं आ रही है. ओके, आर्ची को चेक करेंगे. उसके पहले लेट्स टेक I want to take someone new. Let's take DM. Hi, DM.
Hey Vimoh, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can hear you. Go on.
I wanted to talk about like uh, relationships between theist and atheist, like mainly romantic relationships.
Have you? Is
And
this your first time? Is this your first time here?
yeah, yeah, it is. I
Okay.
mean, I've seen I'm watching your channel for like
No,
a
no,
month
first time
or so
talking.
now. Yeah, yeah, it's first time talking, yeah.
Okay, go on.
Um, like for example, I'm an atheist and I do not believe in God and everything. And uh, like if I'm going to, let's say, marry someone and who is a theist, and let's say also like not just a like theist but also has like guru or something, or like a family guru or something, do you think like these relationships can work, or
It
like
depends on
just
your understanding. Uh, does this person like? Are you marrying out of love, or is this arranged by your family?
uh why will that matter, like
Because if it's out of love, then that person already knows that you're an atheist, right?
uh yeah, yeah, that's true, but like that does not really change their beliefs or my beliefs.
No, it at least changes their approach towards you, right? So one person can be religious, and if they find out that the person they love is an atheist, they can be okay with it, despite the fact that they're not an atheist. So, does this person know that you're an atheist?
Yeah.
Okay, and how do they react to it?
So I don't think like they necessarily have problem with me being an atheist, but I just feel like some of their like for them being an atheist, like there are some things which I have to like I feel like change about myself, although like I do not like believe in them. For example, like it's very common for people to ask like during periods you don't like near some places, and I cannot stand it, frankly. And
Have you told them this? Have you told them that these expectations that will be had from me as your life partner, I'm not willing to participate in them? Have you told them?
I have, but I just feel like we are like not able to reach some like, a middle
What
ground or
what happened
something
when you
like
told them?
that.
What happened when you told them?
I think mainly, so I try to like tell from my perspective that no, this is not right, and it's like I can't do it, and I can't see like my children doing this like in future, and this is like wrong, and like the way of controlling women and everything. And for them it's like I don't see it in that perspective, but this is just like part of my belief and religion, and I don't want to like demean women or something.
Hmm.
So I think like there is a like conflict between like the way we think, although it's the same thing, but like perspective of looking at it is very different.
Okay, so when you told them that I don't want to do this, what did they say? Did they say that you will have to do this?
Uh, Not like will have to do this, but like in some degree, I would say I'll have to kind of do it. Like
Okay,
maybe
so are
not
you
in,
okay? So this is going to be not a clear line, right? You are going to have to compromise on your stand that you don't like it, and they are going to have to compromise on their stand that that all is important. It comes down to how much of a compromise you're willing to make and how much of a compromise they're willing to make. Do you think you will be making more compromises or they will?
I so that's what like the issue is. I feel like I'm making more compromise. I feel like I have like I am right in this case. Or I also feel that I'm right in asking this, and they
Hmm.
feel like they are
You are.
also making a compromise. So so that's why. And I think like what like there's this small like there are many of like these small things, and then this will not work out. And then I think like if they're like now I'm just saying like theists cannot like be in relationship with like atheists, then how am I different from any other relation? And so like
How are you different from any other?
like being like a religious people, like that like people say like you
So
don't marry in different castes, and
so
I
no, no,
feel
no.
like
It's slightly different here because you will have. I don't know the nature of your relationship with them, but if religious rituals are something that you're expected to participate in, then it will quickly become a relationship where you have less power than them and you are able to oppose less and less.
that's
It may be
exactly
a
how
it
I
may be a
feel.
small
Yeah,
thing, but it will be a lot of small things over a long time because it's marriage,
yeah.
right? And at some point of time, it will become too big. So you have to foresee that. You have to wonder if you will be okay with it at that point.
Yeah, and I also feel like in general in like I in marriages like men have more power in relationship than
Yeah,
female. And
unfortunately.
yeah, and even like after marriage like boys family has more say in it, and if I
Yeah,
can't like fight for every small thing like that I
yeah.
want.
Listen, marriage is going to be a lot of compromise anyway. Even if you are both atheists, it's going to be a lot of compromises.
Yeah.
But if you're an atheist who has a serious problem with religious rituals, participation, and being expected to do things as a woman in the relationship, then you want to really think about this before you get into it. Because uh, it's not as if it's something it's not an Agniveer Yojana, right? It's not something you can try for 4 years and then stop.
Yeah,
Unless
exactly.
unless that is the goal, in which case go ahead, try it, and then come out whenever you're ready. But if it is not, then think really strongly and get as much clarity as possible from the person you are marrying. Don't let it hang like कर लेंगे कुछ तो कर लेंगे. There are relationships where the boy has said to the girl, हाँ कर लेंगे कुछ तो कर लेंगे, and then the marriage happens. The girl moves to the guy's house. The things are expected from the girl. The girl tells the boy, "We agreed that I'm not going to do this," and the boy says, "Yeah, पर करना पड़ता है ना," and then the girl is stuck.
Yeah.
I know of such relationships. So think very clearly about your life. You have the freedom to decide right now. Later on, you may not have that freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Yeah. It just boils down to how much of a compromise you're comfortable with. If you're okay with the compromise, go ahead. There are married people who are, atheists, but who say, yeah, यार, पूजा के दिन थोड़ा बहुत कर लूंगी. If that's the kind of life it's going to be, by all means, go ahead. But if you think you're not going to be willing to do that, or that it's going to increase over time and it's going to become intolerable, then think about it. And in either case, best of luck for your future.
Thank you, Vimoh.
Chalo, bye bye, DM.
Bye.
That was DM. Let's see if. Arey, ye kahan gaya? Okay. Thank you, Amit, for the $5. Excellent example of a religion impacting a person's consent. Yeah, and it works out harder for women. There are certain compromises a man has to make in a relationship, but it's almost nothing compared to the compromises that a woman makes in a relationship, especially when the relationship becomes a marriage. Ankit Kumar, thank you for the 220 rupees. Therapy lessons with Vimoh. Arey yaar, I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to give people relationship advice, but this was straightforward enough. So let's take. Wait, who's this? Um, let's take Azim Ahmed. Hi, Azim, you're online.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Also,
Okay,
don't call me
sir.
sir.
Okay. Actually, I'm 15 years old, so
That's okay. You can call me Vimoh.
okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, Vimoh.
Huh.
So, since I belong to Assam, okay, I belong to
Okay.
Assam,
Hey. Oh.
and we have this festival or function called Bihu. You have heard about it.
I used to
So,
dance the Bihu.
yeah,
I grew up in Assam. I used to dance Bihu.
I see.
Hmm.
So, I like to celebrate Bihu,
Hmm.
but I have seen people, Hindu people,
Hmm.
praying to the sun god or sun Surya Bhagwan
Hmm.
during Bihu.
Hmm.
So why must they include God into this cultural function? Like,
I'll be honest. I don't know about, like, is Bihu a Hindu thing or is it a tribal thing?
no. It's a tribal thing.
Yeah, it's a tribal thing, right?
Yeah.
So
So why?
the
Yeah.
people participating in Bihu do not worship the sun god, but certain Hindus do, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your question again?
So it makes me one. So my question is that why must they include gods into this Bihu?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I can speak on their behalf. But Hindus do this all over the place. They just take a local custom and they change it slightly and they adopt it into Hinduism. So I don't know what exactly you're asking. Why they do it? They do it because that's how Hindus do things.
See,
You
okay.
don't have to do it. They don't ask you to do it, right?
They don't.
Yeah. Then I
So
guess,
I have
how does it matter?
okay. I have one more question.
Hmm.
That what is better, a single global nation or multiple smaller nations?
I think a single global nation is great, but I don't know if it is feasible right now because the global politics, global polity, global history is littered with examples of imperialism. So if a global state happens, where is the capital going to be? Who's
I
going to
see.
lead it? Which is it going to be white people? Is it going to be corporate interests? Is there going to be suitable amount of representation for people from South Asia, from China, from Japan, etc.? Is it genuinely going to be able to be a global government where every country has equal amount of power? If that is the case, then great. Otherwise, we might just walk into a trap.
I see.
Hmm.
So I have one more question. We have seen religious extremism, but we have also seen linguistic extremism. Like once I heard news, not heard, so watched the news where a man belonging to Karnataka opened a shop in Maharashtra, and the Shiv Sena group destroyed his shop as they said that he was a outsider he did not speak Marathi. Therefore, he must not come here and take our jobs.
When was this? Recently or back in the days of Bal Thackeray?
1 year ago. 1 year ago.
1 year ago. Okay. Okay.
So like we do not like मतलब मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ कि हम रिलीजन के बारे में हम रिलीजन को इतना अपनाते नहीं क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि ये डेंजरस है.
हाँ.
तो उसी
When you
प्रकार
say हम, who do you mean?
हम एथिस्ट पीपल.
Atheist लोग. Okay.
ओके. क्योंकि रिलीजन हमारे लिए थोड़ा डेंजरस भी है, थोड़ा सेंसलेस भी है. और उसी लॉजिक से मैं देखूं लैंग्वेज भी डेंजरस बन रहा है.
कैसे? क्या बोल रहे हो? एग्जांपल दो.
मतलब कि मैंने जो बोला क्योंकि उन्होंने लैंग्वेज के लैंग्वेज ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ लैंग्वेज दे अटैक दैट मैन बिलोंगिंग टू कर्नाटका. इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि लैंग्वेज भी डेंजरस बन रहा है इस प्रकार.
हाँ, वो तो हमेशा से हुआ है. लेट मी जस्ट लुक अप कर्नाटका मैन अटैक्ड इन मुंबई. कब का है? 1 साल पुराना है क्या?
या
आई कैन नॉट फाइंड इट. there's plenty of news stories but कर्नाटका एंड मुंबई लिखने पे बहुत कुछ आता है थैंक्स टू द सैचुरेटेड कीवर्ड्स. बट या अब लैंग्वेज को लेके कई जगह शॉविनिज्म होता है. और शॉविनिज्म नहीं, कई जगह मुंबई में मराठी को लेकर जो लाइक मराठी अस्मिता को लेकर बाल ठाकरे's politics and later MNS etc. they emerged. तमिलनाडु में एंटी हिंदी सेंटिमेंट है. I wish in Odisha there was a little bit of anti-Hindi sentiment, but there isn't. People are stopping speaking Odia. I don't know the situation in Assam, but yeah, people. It's about cultural power, right? Sometimes cultural power stems from a religious identity. Sometimes it comes from a linguistic identity. It's only about majorities and minorities. It's about power. People can use multiple reasons to justify their power or lack of power or the reasons behind oppressing someone.
Thank you, Vimoh. Those were my questions only.
Cool.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. That was Azim. I will take one more person, which is going to be Raja Shah, because he has been waiting for a long time. Hi, Raja.
हेलो.
What's up?
नमस्ते आपको.
हाँ, नमस्ते. बोलिए.
जी सर, मैं ऐसे में कहना चाहता हूँ कि मैं भी एथिस्ट हूँ. और मुझे ये जो सैंड जर्नी और या जो दीपक बुद्ध को बुलाए थे वो मुझे सही नहीं लगा एक तरह से. वो कहना था मुझे.
क्यों?
क्योंकि इनका जो कंटेंट है ये, क्योंकि मैं हिस्ट्री स्टूडेंट भी हूँ तो मैंने पढ़ा है. तो जो ये लोग पढ़ाते हिस्ट्री वो तो डिफरेंट है. मतलब ये बोलते हैं कि संस्कृत 14th सेंचुरी के बाद आया और क्या
नहीं, वो कहते हैं कि संस्कृत का लिखित एविडेंस 14th सेंचुरी से पहले नहीं मिलता है.
नहीं, एक मिला है हमको. कहाँ? दिल्ली का कोई तो गांव था एक्चुअली, हिताई गांव, कुछ तो स्टोन में लिखा है. आप एक बार सर्च कर सकते हैं ओल्डेस्ट एविडेंस जो अभी हमको मिला है.
एक ही मिला है.
हाँ, एक दिल्ली में मिला आपका. एक्चुअली मैं फ्रेंड भी
देखो. लैंग्वेज के प्रेवलेंस के जो एग्जांपल होते हैं ना, अगर कोई कहना चाहता है कि संस्कृत वाइडली बोली जाती थी तो उसके एक से ज़्यादा जगह पे एविडेंस मिलना चाहिए. अगर मैं साइंस जर्नी के बहुत सारे वीडियो देखा नहीं हूँ, बट फ्रॉम व्हाट आई रिमेंबर ऑफ हिज आर्ग्यूमेंट्स एंड फ्रॉम व्हाट आई रिमेंबर फ्रॉम अदर सोर्सेस आल्सो, पॉइंट ये है कि उस समय हमें पता है चीन से, तिब्बत से, श्रीलंका से लोग भारत आए थे और घूमे थे और किताबें लिखी थी. और उन किताबों में हमें ज़्यादातर बुद्धिज़्म का मेंशन मिलता है. और संस्कृत का उतना एविडेंस नहीं मिलता जितना मिलना चाहिए अगर उसके बारे में कहे गए ये सारे क्लेम सही हैं. तो हिंदू लोग कई बार कहते हैं कि हमारे पास रिटन नहीं था, हमारा एक ओरल ट्रेडिशन था संस्कृत को लेके, और इस वजह से संस्कृत का एविडेंस उतना नहीं मिलता क्योंकि इट वाज स्पोकन नॉट रिटन डाउन. और उसको साबित करने का तो कोई तरीका है नहीं, है ना?
जी सर, एक्चुअली मेरा प्रॉब्लम क्या था कि एक और एक चीज़ से कहते हैं संस्कृत तो आपने सही बोला कि वो रिलीजियस लैंग्वेज है. जैसे अवेस्ता था ईरान का, जोरास्ट्रियन रिलीजन का. तो एक और एक क्वेश्चन बोलते हैं कि हिंदुज़म बुद्धिज़्म के बाद है. वो मेरे को तो समझ नहीं आता क्योंकि हमें वहाँ में 15th सेंचुरी बीसी से पहले तो पेगनिज्म था वर्ल्ड में डोमिनेंट, ग्रीक में था, इजिप्ट में था, ईरान में था, चाइना में था, जापान में एनिमिज्म था, इंडिया में भी। तो फिर मैंने बोला हिंदुइज्म
कब
वैसे
कब
हो
से
गया। तो
पहले कब से पहले
5 सेंचुरी बीसी से पहले
5
तो
सेंचुरी
मेजोरिटी।
बीसी से पहले 5 सेंचुरी बीसी से पहले पूरी दुनिया में पेगनिज्म था, ये थोड़ा काफ़ी ब्रॉड स्टेटमेंट है, क्योंकि यूरोप में जो पेगन्स थे वो हिंदू तो नहीं थे ना।
हाँ, वो तो अपने ग्रीक गॉड्स का, नॉर्डिक गॉड्स को फॉलो करते थे।
एग्जैक्टली। सो उसको हिंदू नहीं बोल सकते।
नहीं, हाँ, मैं
कैसे हिंदू
हिंदुइज्म का
बोलोगे?
नहीं बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं हिंदुइज्म का नहीं, मैं बोल पेगनिज्म, जो डिफरेंट गॉड्स को पूजा करना।
हाँ, डिफरेंट गॉड्स को पूजा करने में ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज़, एनिमिज़्म ये सब भी आ जाता है। उसको हिंदू कैटेगरी के अंदर क्यों लेना?
मैं हिंदू कैथलिक का बात नहीं, मैं एथीस्ट हूँ एक्चुअली। मैं बोल रहा था कि
मैं समझ
बुद्धिज्म
गया,
का
पर
पहले
नहीं,
आता
नहीं,
है।
मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि आपने बात जब शुरू की थी तो आपने कहा था वो कहते हैं कि हिंदुइज़्म इतना पुराना नहीं है। मेबी नहीं है। इसको
हाँ,
एक्सेप्ट करने में
नहीं है।
प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
नहीं, मैं भी बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं है हो सकता, क्योंकि हम जो पुराना हिंदुइज्म था इसमें तो गॉड्स की अलग कहानी है। जैसे इसमें तो जो कृष्णा भगवान के मतलब भाई थे बलराम, उनका तो ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट दिखाया गया है। और कृष्णा को तो हरकुलिस से कंपेयर किया है। ग्रीक हिस्टोरियन थे, हेरोडोटस नाम थी, वो जब बोलते अलेक्जेंडर जब इंडिया आया था तो पोरू जब आर्मी लेके जाता तो हरकुलिस जैसा कोई भगवान को दिखाते। आज जो हिस्टोरियंस है वो मानते हैं कि वो कृष्णा है। दो रीजन देते हैं,
देखो,
एक तो
सारे ग्रीक हिस्टोरियंस के अकाउंट्स रिलायबल नहीं हैं।
हाँ, वो
पर
तो है, वो फिर जल गए।
उनमें से हम कुछ कंक्लूजन्स निकाल सकते हैं। अगर कोई ग्रीक हिस्टोरियन इंडिया के एक हिस्से में गया था और उसने उसके बारे में कोई चीज़ कही थी, हम उसको
हम्म,
सीधा का सीधा उठा के सच नहीं मान लेते। हम देखते हैं कि उस टाइम के बारे में और लोगों ने क्या-क्या लिखा है। अगर कुछ रिलेटेबल और कुछ कॉमनैलिटी है, तो भैया राजा शाह क्या टाइप कर रहे हो?
मैं आपका जो बोला था वही सर्च कर रहा हूँ एक्चुअली।
अच्छा, नहीं, थोड़ा डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है, टाइप मत
ओह सॉरी।
करो। ओह सॉरी बोल के भी टाइप कर रहे हो।
ओह सॉरी सॉरी। एक मिनट में आया आपके पास। हाँ,
हाँ,
बोलिए।
सो यही बोल रहा हूँ कि उस टाइम के हिस्टोरिकल अकाउंट्स के बेसिस पे हम लोग जो
जी।
कंक्लूजन्स निकालते हैं, वो सिर्फ़ इसलिए नहीं
हम्म,
निकालते कि कोई आया था और उसने कुछ बोला था। हो सकता है
हम्म,
फाहियन ने कहीं कोई गलत चीज़ बोल दी हो सकता है किसी श्रीलंकन बुद्धिस्ट ने कुछ गलत चीज़ बोल दी हो। इसलिए हम लोग
हम्म,
कंक्लूजन निकालते हैं कॉमनैलिटीज़ से। क्या ये दोनों
हम्म,
लोग अलग-अलग टाइम पे इस एक जगह के बारे में एक ही चीज़ बोल रहे हैं? अगर हाँ,
हम्म,
तो हो सकता है इसमें कोई सच्चाई हो। ऐसे निकालते हैं।
हम्म,
पूरा का पूरा अकाउंट निकाल के उसको कोई सच नहीं मान लेता।
हम्म,
हिस्टोरिकल रिसर्च के कुछ मेथड होते हैं और उनके
हम्म,
हिसाब से अ, एक सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ सस्पिशन होना
हम्म,
चाहिए किसी भी प्राचीन सोर्स को लेके, क्योंकि कई बार लोग राजाओं के लिए लिखते थे और
हाँ,
जिस
हाँ।
राजा के लिए लिख रहे होते थे उसके बारे में कुछ बढ़ा चढ़ा के लिख डालते थे। ये भी होता है।
हम्म। हाँ, तो और ये दूसरा क्वेश्चन था मुझे, उसकी प्रॉब्लम क्या, वो बुद्धिज्म की नहीं थी, मतलब जैसा हम जानते हैं एक्स मुस्लिम साहिल जो था वो अच्छा था, एक्स मुस्लिम था, पर वो तो फिर हमें इमाम किंग के साथ जाके बैठ गया वो। तो इससे तो मुझे लगता है कि इन्हों भी क्या थोड़ा बुद्धिस्ट हो गया, मतलब तो बुद्धिस्ट होकर ज़्यादा सपोर्ट करते हैं। आप
दीपक
देखें
बुद्ध
इनके
बुद्ध दीपक बुद्ध बुद्धिस्ट नहीं है।
पर नाम में तो बुद्ध ही
तुमने
लिखते हुई।
हाँ, तो उसने लिखा है, उसने अरे वो एपिसोड देखा तुमने पूरा?
पूरा अच्छा मेरा कट हो गया था, मैंने का
हाँ,
एक्चुअली।
तो देख ले, तो अभी रिकॉर्डिंग है अवेलेबल। लास्ट में उसने बोला है कि कई लोग मेरा नाम देख के समझ लेते हैं कि मैं बुद्धिस्ट हूँ, मैं नहीं हूँ, मैं एथीस्ट हूँ।
ओके ओके।
उसने साफ-साफ बोला है
एक्चुअली
उसमें।
एक्चुअली मैं बुद्धिज्म में क्यों करता है, तो जब मैंने बुद्धिज्म को पढ़ा तो बुद्धिज्म में भी वही अजीब बात की है। एक मॉन्क का मैं वीडियो देख रहा था, उसमें
हुँ।
बोल रहा था कि नहीं, बुद्ध श्रीलंकन मॉन्क था वो बोलता है नहीं, बुद्धिज्म में भी देवता है, पूजा होती है। और फिर हम लोग को कुषाण एरा से जो
बुद्धिज़्म
मिला।
बुद्धिज़्म काफ़ी पुराना है, उसके कई सारे स्कूल्स हैं।
हम्म,
श्रीलंका में ऐसे बुद्धिस्ट हैं, चाइना में बुद्धिस्ट हैं, इंडिया में नवयान बुद्धिस्ट हैं। तो इट्स नॉट अ सेम थिंग, इट्स डिफरेंट बुद्धिस्ट पीपल हैव डिफरेंट व्यूज़। कुछ बुद्धिस्ट ऐसे हैं जो सिर्फ़ चांटिंग करते हैं और कुछ नहीं करते। कुछ बुद्धिस्ट
वज्रयान
ऐसे हैं
बुद्धिस्ट।
जिनको लगता है कि सॉरी?
आप मेरे चैंट में वज्रयान करता एक्चुअली, वज्रयान।
वज्रयान, यस। सो होते हैं,
हाँ।
बहुत सारे प्रकार के होते हैं और हर धर्म में समय के साथ करप्शन आता है। इसीलिए तो
हम्म,
अम्बेडकर ने नवयान बुद्धिज़्म बनाया, क्योंकि उनको बाकी तो सूट
हम्म।
नहीं करते थे।
पर मुझे लगता है उनका एथिज्म अपना लेना चाहते उसमें, एथिस्ट होने से ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट था।
किसको?
वो अम्बेडकर जी को मतलब बोल देता कि मैं किसी मज़हब पंथ से नहीं आता, अब मैं एथिस्ट हूँ पूरी तरह से। तो वो एक अच्छा ज़्यादा मूव है, क्योंकि एथिस्ट पब्लिक भी यही कहना
आई
है,
एम
इवन
श्योर ही
हैरिस
हैड
का
हिज़
भी कहना
रीज़न्स।
है।
आई एम श्योर ही हैड हिज़ रीज़न्स। उनको लगा होगा कि अगर मैं खाली एथीस्ट बोलूँगा तो बहुत से लोग मेरे पीछे नहीं आएँगे। उनके लिए हिंदू धर्म को छुड़वाना बहुत ज़रूरी था।
हुँ,
इसीलिए
हुँ,
उनको एक रिप्लेसमेंट देना पड़ा और उस रिप्लेसमेंट के
हुँ,
रूप में
हुँ,
उन्होंने नवयान बुद्धिज़्म को
शुरू किया. अगर वो एथिस्ट बोलते हो सकता है वो मिशन सक्सेसफुल नहीं होता. शायद, आई डोंट नो. बट इज दैट ओके राजा इफ आई मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पर्सन?
हाँ सर, मैं बाद में कभी आपसे बात कर लूंगा. अभी मेरे पास ढंग
ठीक
की
है.
एविडेंस नहीं है एक्चुअली.
ठीक है. चलो, बाय बाय.
ओके, बाय.
That was Raja, the typist. एंड दैट्स इट. मैं लास्ट कॉलर लेना चाहता हूँ अनुज प्रकाश को. बाकी लोग लाइव मतलब अपने आप को हटा सकते हैं. अनुज के बाद लाइव स्ट्रीम एंड कर दी जाएगी. बट उससे पहले थैंक यू वैल्करी फॉर द $1.99. सन गॉड इज अ गॉड दैट इज श्योरली गोइंग टू डाई. Yep. Although I suppose it is also worth mentioning that from the human perspective, there is no practical difference between a god that lasts for a few billion years and a god that lasts forever. हमारे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. फॉर ऑल प्रैक्टिकल पर्पसेस, फॉर ऑल इंटेंट्स एंड पर्पसेस, द सन इज इटर्नल, राइट? सो लेट्स टेक अनुज. अनुज प्रकाश, you're online.
Yeah. Hi. Am I audible?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Hi. Yes, you're audible. Go on.
Yeah. Actually, I thought you wouldn't pick another caller, so I'm not that ready, but I can go on still.
Okay. What did you want to talk about?
Actually, I wanted to talk about the. You remember that Kannadiga guy who wanted to ask about the Hindi thing, Hindi religion. Sorry, Hindi language. I think I understood him. Like even my brother also has the same views. Like in Karnataka, many people has the same views. Like why should we learn make English as the national language when we can make Hindi language, which is ours, means which is from India, which has great many similarities between the local language, which is Kannada, which has many, means it also comes from the same language. I think both are Dravidian language, I guess. So
Hindi is
why
Hindi is not Dravidian.
Okay, sorry. Maybe as I'm saying, both has the same many similarities than English. So why can't we make Hindi as the national language than English? It's better to make Hindi on that.
Why do we
sense.
need a national language?
I mean,
that's an important question. Why do we need a national language? Why do we need a national anything? Why can't we be a diverse country with many official languages? I mean, the function of communicating between states on a central government, union government level is already being fulfilled by English and Hindi together. What is the need to change it? Because right now, when you say एक language को declare करेंगे central, you are not only talking about taking one language and making it central. You're also talking about removing English, which is impractical, I feel. I'm pretty sure that many people in Karnataka will also oppose English being removed, right?
Yeah, sure,
yeah. So what is the need for this jhamela?
I mean, the main thing here is, I guess, why should we talk the language which our colonizers gave us? I mean, colonizer brought to India. Why can't we?
Why should we use the internet, play games? Why should we have any number of things that are the result of our colonial past?
Since if we use, the influence of English has been so much that many people are forgetting their local languages in some parts of India. I mean,
that can be said about Hindi also. There are many local languages which are suffering because everyone is speaking Hindi.
Okay, but
as I pointed out, there's a power hierarchy. English is definitely on top of it, right? English की वजह से हिंदी सफर करता है, हिंदी की वजह से लोकल लैंग्वेजेस सफर करती हैं, और लोकल लैंग्वेजेस की वजह से और भी छोटे छोटे ट्राइबल लेवल लैंग्वेजेस है जो कि सफर करते हैं. Anything you can say about English, you can also say about Hindi to a slightly lesser degree.
But we need, I mean, it is better to have one national language, right? I mean,
why?
Because we can I mean, then if we take the example of other countries where they have one national language,
Give an example.
they like America or Russia or
There are states
yeah.
in America where you can't get by very easily without speaking Spanish. There are
Yeah,
parts
but
of America where Hindi is spoken and Chinese is spoken. They are less multilingual than us, but no country is monolingual, literally monolingual. That is not how culture works. If you are a country where English is spoken, but I mean, I remember 20, 25 years ago when the call center culture was really working out for India. A lot of people are saying India is a very lucrative destination for multinational corporations because they don't have to worry about language because plenty of people here speak English. they are they can just teach people their business practices in English, which is something that they could not do very effectively in China because it did not have a huge English speaking population. So you will also be giving up on plenty of cultural advantages in a increasingly connected world if you give up English. What about that?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, just because something was given to us by our colonizers does not necessarily mean we should get rid of it. It's a very, it makes no practical sense. It's just revenge.
Yeah, I
It's like
mean,
spiting your own. You know, uh, it's like hurting yourself to defeat an enemy who left 100 years ago. Nobody,
yeah.
nobody, nobody gains anything if English is removed. Nobody gains anything except maybe one political party emerging out of North India.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if we don't agree about the colonizers stuff they brought us, we have to stop using many things, as you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's it.
yeah, I had another small question. I think
Okay.
it was discussed in the private chat. Someone asked about sensitizing LGBTQ knowledge to children without making the parents angry. How can we do that in India? Like, how can we teach about LGBTQ community to young children without making the parents angry? Like, how can we
I think
normalize it to the new
I think,
generation?
and this is not a statistics-based piece of opinion, but I think generally speaking, India is more open to LGBTQ education than America is, because in America, most of the opposition to LGBTQ people comes from a very Christian upbringing, where sodomy and all is evil and God hates gay
Yeah,
people and all that. Here, we
yeah.
don't have that problem to that great a degree. We do have it among some sections of the population, but it is always possible to formulate educational syllabus in a way that is sensitive. If Germany can find a way to teach about the Holocaust to its children in a sensitive way, so as to bring up people who are aware of their country's really terrible past, I'm pretty sure it's possible to teach people about LGBTQ people.
But still, here in India, it is very homophobic, right? I mean,
Yeah.
people don't like it's. You can't say it's very means we are more liberal or more accepting than America. Means here still, there is so much bullying and harassment just if a person is
I'm saying,
feminine
yeah,
during their
that's
childhood.
true. But I think that to a large degree, I would venture to guess that India, if you create a good syllabus sensitively, you'll face less resistance from. Anuj, what are you doing?
Nothing. Sorry.
Okay.
Is there any
To a large
disturbance?
degree, there's some water falling in the background and some cardboard box and stuff. So,
Okay. Is it
to a large
still
degree,
there?
the kind of it's okay, it's okay. To a large degree, the resistance you face against such a educational syllabus will be less than America. In America, it's an election issue. Here in India, how many politicians say, "Hey, gay people are taking over everything"? Right? We have different election issues. We have religion-based and caste-based election issues,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of manufactured issues. But LGBTQ issues are not political issues here. So if
But
a good syllabus is prepared, there will be less political opposition to it, is what I feel, unless somebody just decides to make it a political issue, in which case, of course, it's going to be different.
But still, it would be a greater issue, right? I mean, here they don't even consider it. At least in
I'm not
America,
saying
they
it's
are
going to be
considering.
easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's definitely not going to be as politically poisonous as it is in America.
I mean, just for instance, the Supreme Court said everything we are asking, the community is asking is valid, but still they were not ready to give
And that was
us the.
unfortunate. And I'm hopeful that that will change in the future, not in the past.
But, I mean, I think that I mean we are not as accepting as America, I guess, because people don't even consider the LGBT community. There are so many superstitions about transgender people and feminine people and masculinity. So I don't think it would be easier, I guess.
I think
Here.
you're overestimating. I don't know if you're underestimating India's ability, but you're definitely overestimating the amount of liberal thought America has about LGBTQ populations. Transphobia is a huge thing there. Politically, there are political candidates making speeches about upcoming elections where they say, "I will destroy trans people. We will ban books that talk about LGBTQ people." You don't see that here. Sure, my point is that there is homophobia in India, but it has not risen to political levels. And therefore, if a sensitive enough syllabus is prepared, it might be possible to teach children about it without their parents getting angry. In America, doing that is harder because right now, books mentioning trans identities and gay people are being literally banned from schools. Teachers are getting fired for mentioning homosexuality in class. We are not yet there. And I think you may be overestimating how liberal America is about all this.
I mean, it is not risen to that political level because the political parties are not even ready to consider them as humans or consider them as somebody who is whose voice should be heard or something. Like they literally people
Well, the
say that
Supreme
they.
Court, the Supreme Court had some dissenting opinions also, right? So the Chief Justice of India said that they have the right to live together. The only thing that is stuck is marriage. If we
Yeah.
have taken 4 steps towards it,
Uh,
the 5th step is an important one and it remains to be taken and it should be taken. But we have taken 4 steps towards it from wherever we started. America has taken 4 steps back from where it started. You see
okay.
that?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and
Anyway,
and the last thing is it's a small
there's
thing
the last thing.
yeah sorry
Okay.
I'm new to this atheisms and stuff, and I'm still figuring out how like I have still so many doubts. Like, can you prescribe a book or something, like how can, so that I can understand it better, the atheism concept?
The concept of atheism, like I don't know about specific books, but I have an Amazon page at amazon.in/shop/Vimoh. Amazon.in/shop/Vimoh. There
Okay.
is a lot of books listed there. One of the categories is atheism in India or something. You can go through that and you can find books.
Okay, thank you
Cool.
thank you for
Thanks,
answering.
Anuj. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We are at the 2 hour, 2 minutes mark. I'm not taking any more callers. Thank you, people, for joining. I'm going to empty the queue. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining. Today's live stream was long and quite fruitful. I looked at almost 0 comments. So let me just take a look. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to be able to read all the comments because there are like, what? 700, 800 comments. So yeah, thank you for joining today. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comments. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button below and becoming a member of the channel. And you can also support the channel on Patreon at patreon.com/Vimoh. You can also send money to Vimoh at UPI, VIMOH@UPI. You can also go to my website at www.vimoh.in and click the support button there. and make a contribution of any amount of your choice. So I will see you next time on Wednesday. Apologies to everyone who I could not include in today's episode. There were a lot of callers, and I was kind of trying to go for first timers and topics that we had not touched upon before. So thanks in advance for all the support that you're about to send me, I'm sure. And I will see you on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Until then, please take care of yourself and good night.